All right, guys, what's going on? Welcome in. So we have some breaking Jets news. It's not anything super crazy. Just a couple of interesting comments made by Robert Saleh. Now, as we all know, the Jets and the Lions are down in Mobile, Alabama. They're coaching up some prospects at the Senior Bowl. Awesome stuff. I love it. Super exciting. Quick little side note: I'm actually going to be doing practice recaps both tomorrow and the following day concerning practices 2 and 3. I was actually going to do one today, but the practice for whatever reason was not televised and you can't watch it online. So no recap for day one, obviously. But I guess Robert Saleh had a little media session. He was answering some questions. And Mekhi Becton in the left tackle position came up, and he said that Mekhi Becton is not guaranteed the starting left tackle job. Like, it's not like 100% locked in, oh, Becton's our guy. It's going to be a competition between Becton and George Fant. Okay, now I've raved about George Fant on this channel, way too much probably for some people, and I got to be honest, he's my favorite player on the offense. I think he's underappreciated. I think he's undervalued. I think he's underrated from just when I look at a national media perspective. I think George Fant does a really good job for the most part on a week-to-week basis, both in the running game and in pass pro. He keeps his head down. He works hard. He was Joe Douglas's first kind of big free agent signing. It wasn't like some crazy, mega deal or anything like that. But he comes over from Seattle, and he was a swing tackle in Seattle. And I thought he did a decent job year one, and then year two, just excellent player. Now, is George Fant a top 3 tackle, like a cornerstone of the franchise for the next 10 seasons? Probably not, no. But I still really like Fant. The point is, Mekhi Becton, first-round pick just a couple of seasons ago, he's had some concerns, right? There's been questions about his size, overall size. There's been questions about his injuries with the concussion, with the plantar fasciitis. Obviously, the lower body injury in week 1 this season, requiring him to miss the entire year. So the starting left tackle spot is supposedly, according to Robert Saleh, up in the air. And it leads you to believe, or before we get into that, we look at the current roster at tackle. Connor McDermott set to hit the open market. Morgan Moses is set to hit the open market. We are going to need some help on the offensive line. That's just a tackle. We look at guard, the interior. Yes, of course, we have AVT. I'm pumped about that. I love Vera Tucker. He's a beast. But I mean, LTD set to hit the open market. Dan Feeney, Greg Van Roten's probably going to be released. We need to get some talent here. We really need to get some more bodies on this offensive line. And with the Jets having that 4th overall pick, there's going to be some tackles there. Whether you want to talk about Evan Neal, Charles Cross, Mississippi State, Ikem Ekwonu, NC State, we are going to have a chance at one of these top tackles. So it could be really interesting. Do we draft a tackle at spot number 4, play him at right tackle immediately, and let the best man win at left tackle, and then the loser gets essentially bumped down to being a backup? What happens there? If George Fant beats Mekhi Becton out, what happens? What happens? Does Mekhi, I mean, think about it. Mekhi Becton wasn't so, like, he was drafted. A lot of people said he was going to be a project, like dominant in the run game, but not so good in pass protection. But Mekhi Becton's rookie season was flat out incredible. I mean, I was blown away to look at a guy of his size with his athletic ability doing what he was doing with not that much help on the offensive line around him. It was really just him. Like on that left side, of course. So, on one hand, it sucks, right? Because Mekhi is such a young player, and I mean, he was a first-round pick, but taking that aside, just looking at Mekhi Becton's age, like, he is such a young player. I really wish there weren't this many red flags, this many concerns with Mekhi, especially seeing what he can do on the field. Like, man, this guy could be elite. Mekhi Becton could truly be one of the best tackles in football. I really believe that. But, I mean, the injury, you have to stay on the field. You have to. And if injuries are keeping Becton off, if he is not good to go, if he's not 100% ready to play for the start of this upcoming season, then I don't know what's going to happen. I really don't. Another quote that Saleh had was, it's not really a talent issue with Mekhi Becton. It's more of a mental thing. It's not, that wasn't, verbatim, but that's what Saleh was alluding to here. And by the way, I'll try to find those quotes and leave them linked down below in the description box. But mental thing. What does that mean now? Because we have the size concerns, we have the injury concerns. Um, mental now is just another red flag, another layer to this entire thing. I don't know. It it's strange. It boggles my mind. I cannot wait to hear what your thoughts are down below in the comment section. Just a strange situation, but I will say this: no matter what happens, let's just say hypothetically, Mekhi Becton's not ready to go for the start of next season, and it's George Fant. George Fant's a really, really good player, especially on the left side. And at right tackle, maybe Morgan Moses gets brought back. Maybe we go draft Ekwonu from NCC. Maybe we go get Charles Cross. Maybe Evan Neal falls to us at spot number 4. There are going to be options for this Jets team. And by the way, we're not even talking about free agency, which the Jets currently are sitting at around roughly $50 million before cuts. Before cuts, Ryan Griffin, Greg Van Roten, before cuts, we are sitting at around $50 million. So maybe we go out and try to target a tackle in free agency. We have options. That's the good news. We're not in between a rock and a hard place where it's like Becton has to work out. If he doesn't, the season's a wash. The offensive line is going to be a complete and utter wreck. We are not in that position. That is a silver lining. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts down below. And as always, go Jets.